morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I guess like the choir. I want to first of all just thank Salvation Army for all the work that you do, doing the most with good. You guys have been such a pillar in our community for many years. And I want to thank Sydney, Ava, and Major Doug Riley. So let's give Salvation Army. And then I want to thank Mary Lynn Perry from the city of Sacramento. Come on up here and hang out with us. Let's give her a round of applause. I'm not going to ask how long you've worked with the city, but how long have you been doing the volunteer piece with the city?
About 7 years.
7 years. Awesome. Thank you for that. And then I want to thank Kathy Chow with Hands On Sacramento. Let's give Kathy a round of applause. And this is really talking about volunteerism and the commitment that we made as a city, and all the efforts of people that I recognize have been so important and critical in doing what we've done and what we're going to talk about today. I also want to thank a couple of our sponsors, because without them, there would be no t-shirts. So let me first thank Tim Ray. Come on up, Tim, from AT&T. Some of our other sponsors are Wells Fargo, Walmart, Sierra Health, and a bunch of other people have done in-kind contributions. So let's give them a round of applause. And then there's two people from my staff who I want to particularly thank, who've been the coordinator behind the scenes for this particular initiative. Terry Munger, come on up. And Joaquin McPeak. Give Joaquin a round. And then there's the last group, and then I'll get into my quick remarks. Intel has been such a critical piece. When you talk about the business community and corporate sponsors, Intel has done an unbelievable job of setting a real high bar. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But we'd like Christina and Grace to come on up, and if they're already up, wave their hands. All right, well, here we go. Today is a great day in the city of Sacramento. When I think about what we've accomplished in just 10 short months, I remember what I first envisioned with this volunteer initiative. It was really that Sacramento would be a city that was leading when it comes to volunteerism. There's so many challenges in our economy. There are so many things that need help and extra support. And I felt Sacramento had a tremendous opportunity to be a leader when it comes to service and volunteerism. Chevo, Wells Fargo, come on up. Come on up. So my hope was that we would inspire people in giving back. I always knew that the city of volunteers is what Sacramento was all about, and we wanted to make a really bold statement. So back in March, who was here at the Boys and Girls Club in March when we kicked this off? So a lot of folks were even here then. We had the Reverend Jesse Jackson here and some other folks kicking off our volunteer initiative. And the goal was for everyone in Sacramento who was able and willing to donate 10 hours of volunteer hours between the beginning of the calendar year and the end of the calendar year. So between January and December. And our goal was 500,000 service hours. And we wanted to do that by December. So again, 500,000 service hours. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Right. Our goal was to do 500,000 service hours by December. I am proud to say that as of today, we have officially surpassed the mark and logged in 689,000. So many things to complain about, and there's so many challenges, but we as a city have stepped up and surpassed our goal for almost 700,000 service hours. And if you think about it, Hands on Sacramento, wave your hand again. They were able to contribute through their network over 300,000 service hours. The city of Sacramento, raise our hand here, over 200,000 service hours. I'm proud that the Convention and Culture Leisure Department in the city of Sacramento did over 150,000 hours. I'm glad that they're not just hanging out and doing leisurely things. Parks and Rec almost got 100,000 hours, and Fire Department got 64,000 hours, which is very, very significant. So you can see how our city has met this challenge. I mean, think about that. Over almost 700,000 service hours, totally eclipsing our mark. That's equivalent to about $15 million of economic impact giving back to the city of Sacramento. So let's give ourselves another round of applause. In terms of our corporate sponsors, Intel stepped up big with almost 100,000 hours, AT&T 8,000 hours, and Wells Fargo 4,000. So let's give our corporate sponsors another round. So I know that we've increased the number of people in Sacramento who have participated in volunteering by about 30-some-odd%. And this year, I think we have just about 17,000 citizens who have volunteered their time. Do we remember what it was last year, roughly? Somebody who can do a 30% increase for 17,000. You're the banker, Wells Fargo.
Close to 30%.
You've got that number, right? So we did about 13,000 last year. We're about 17,000 this year. So that's very significant. So I think my first point is, congratulations, and look what we can do when we set a bar really high. But the year is not done. So we still have more time. I don't know what the new mark should be, but let's try to make that mark as high as we can over the next 3 months. We have 3 months left, and I'm not saying that we should try to get 1 million, but we might as well get as close as we can. And I think that what that will do is challenge people in the community to continue to try to get their 10 hours of service in between now and the end of the year. I want to say one other thing, and then I'll invite Intel up for a moment to speak. But on September 10th, I was able to go back to New York. And this was a very big honor for me because I was back there with Mayor Bloomberg, with a host of other mayors around the country. There were about 15 other mayors. And we were talking about service. And we started something called Cities of Service. And what we are doing as mayors is we are challenging other mayors around the country to share best practices. We're challenging other mayors around the country to join this national effort. And we're challenging other mayors around the country to be an advocate for funding at the national level, at the state level, when it comes to volunteerism and service. This is an easy win if we do our part and if we galvanize the energy that we have to make sure that we are a country that is a country of giving and a country of service. And mind you, I was there on September 10th. The next day, September 11th, was the 8th anniversary of 9/11. And that was our first day to commemorate nationally a day of service and reflection, a day of memory for the victim of 9/11. And I am very proud to say when I was there representing Sacramento, we are quickly becoming a model city when it comes to service. Literally, the other mayors were saying, how did you do it? What were you guys able to do? Why did your community come together? And it's because Salvation Army and all of you folks here that we are starting to get a reputation as a city that's a leader when it comes to volunteerism and service. So again, I am very proud to be your mayor. I'm very proud of all the things that we've done in a short period of time here. And I think it would be appropriate today to get one of our corporate sponsors to come up and share a little bit. So I'm assuming Grace will come on up for Intel. So let's give Grace a well done.